Hello, today I'm going to present this case of the Inter-American Commission that is going to be presented before the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. This case is the case of Digna Ochoa and family members versus Mexico. This case started on October 19 of 2001 at 6 p.m. when Digna Ochoa was found dead by his co-worker Gerardo González Pedraza in the office of the organization that she was working on in Mexico City. We submitted to the jurisdiction of the court the case of relatives of Digna Ochoa and Plácido versus Mexico. The case relates to the alleged existence of serious irregularities in the investigation into the death of the human rights defender Digna Ochoa on October 19, 2001. It indicates that her death occurred in a context of harassment and attacks against human rights defenders in Mexico. It was noted that both she and other members of the Pro-DH Center organization where she worked were victims of some acts of intimidation. Since she participated in many events for the protection of human rights, she was harassed and outraged until her life was ended. They saw her as vulnerable since being a woman and wanting to fight for her rights. Many people didn't like that idea. There is a lack of clarification of her whereabouts, as well as the lack of reparation of her relatives for the damage caused as a result of the loss of their loved one, and the prolonged denial of justice they have experienced. We ask the court to establish responsibility international of the state of Mexico, which has failed to comply with its international obligation and has therefore committed a violation of Articles 3, right to recognition of legal personality, Article 4, right to life, Article 5, right to the human treatment, Article 7, right to personal liberty, Article 8, judicial guarantees, and Article 25, judicial protection, in connection with Article 1, obligation to respect rights of the American Convention on Human Rights. This is a clear case, an example of femicide, discrimination, and gender violence case. Enforced disappearance of people is a continuous violation of multiple essential rights of the human person of a non-derogable nature, whereas it continues to drag on. The state hasn't established the whereabouts of the victim, as well as it hasn't sanctioned criminally to those responsible, neither has it assured the relatives an adequate reparation. The resolution provides the necessary assistance in a case that hasn't been resolved for a long time, is to give a dignified closure to the person involved. In this case, the person was murdered, and to their families, to give them physiological care treatment, as well as continue to capture the perpetrators. It's obvious as an institution be more aware of these cases and have find your fair solution. Bring and give justice to the people affected. To conclude, this case was a bit complicated since it has to be analyzed from different perspectives, each person involved and their actions. I hope I have been able to explain and justify this case the best way possible. I enjoy doing the activity since I was able to apply what I learned from the course in a real case. Thank you so much.